Well, good morning, everyone. We are thrilled to be here. It's Tuesday, and it's our second community center of the week. There are great things going on in our community centers across the city. Here at Southwick Community Center in the Park Duval neighborhood, and this is a community center that serves so many people in this community. From here in the gym, kids enjoy the game room. They come here for tutoring. Kids can get something to eat at the Dare to Care Kids Cafe. And recently, we upgraded the computer lab as well, just as we announced yesterday that we had great upgrades to the computer lab at the California Community Center, as well as we focus on continuing our efforts on digital inclusion all across Louisville. There is great work happening at this community center and other community centers all across the city that are going to continue to support neighborhoods like Park Duval and other neighborhoods for years to come. And we're going to get back to that in just a moment. But first, we want to talk about, every day we have first responders, public safety professionals that are doing incredibly important work here in our city. Right now, we have firefighters on the scene of 2nd and York that are dealing with a high-rise blaze at an apartment complex there at 2nd and York. Focusing on public safety and support for our community is the number one priority. But when things happen outside of our area, things of a grand scale that require team effort, that require more resources than other communities may have available, we here in Louisville also want to help. And I know everyone has seen all of the images and read the news about the devastating impact that Hurricane Helene has had on parts of our country. Hundreds have been killed, and families and communities have been devastated, particularly in western North Carolina. And we have another hurricane barreling down on Florida right now as we speak. And so I'm very proud that members of our Metro Safe team have been deployed to that region to offer help there as well, when help is desperately needed outside of our community. And we're prepared to offer even more depending on what happens with the hurricane that's barreling down on Florida right now. So to give more information about that, and before we get to some other announcements, I would like to first introduce our Executive Director of Louisville Metro Emergency Services, Jody Myman. Jody? Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. So like you said, we're very proud to be able to assist people not only across here locally, across the state, but nationally. So he was right. We did send two telecommunications dispatchers down as part of what we call a TERT team. It's the Telecommunicators Emergency Response Team with the state of Kentucky. Two of our dispatchers joined two other dispatchers from around the Commonwealth, and they traveled to Buncombe, North Carolina, where they have participated. One of our dispatchers, Justin Bagby, is working on the first shift, and Kim Sweezy, our other dispatcher, has accepted the role in the night shift. Apparently they have somewhat made a name for themselves. One of them is actually training other dispatchers as they come in to help fill gaps. But I know they're very appreciated throughout the area. They've been treated very well. But just to give a little overview of how that process works, not only do we watch weather as it comes up here, and even the hurricanes that come into the Gulf Coast, we watch those and see exactly how they're going to impact us as well. So just a couple weeks ago, the hurricane that come up that did affect the Carolinas, we watched that because it did impact us, and we don't send anybody out of our area unless we see that it's not going to impact us as well, or we're going to have the staffing to maintain here in the city of Louisville as well. So we were able to see that we were able to help. We sent them as part of what's called an EMAC request. It's an Emergency Management Assistance Compact that comes from other states into our state emergency management office. And then they reach out to agencies throughout the state of Kentucky and see if we can assist. You also may have seen where we sent 17 members of the Suburban Fire or Jefferson County Fire Special Operations Team. They are actually in Central Florida right now, standing by, waiting on the current hurricane that's going to hit the coast. And Louisville Fire has also submitted paperwork as well and are on standby with the state of Kentucky in case further resources are needed. So that's the process. Our dispatchers are about halfway through their 14-day mission. We're very proud of them. Keep them in your prayers. They'll be traveling back soon. There's already been a request for more dispatchers to go out into the same location. So we're evaluating what we've got going on here, staffing issues and things like that, to be able to see if we can send help as well.
Thanks, Jody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jody, and thanks to all of our Thanks to all of our first responders that help here at home and help when the calls come in from elsewhere, as Jody mentioned, when we think we have the capacity to support that as well. And Jody will be available for questions in just a moment. So now, on to our exciting announcement that we have for today. As I often talk about, we are making significant investments in the area of sustainability. We see from these hurricanes that are happening with greater frequency and greater intensity how global temperatures are rising and increasing, our severe weather events like these major hurricanes that were happening. So it's important for every city, every state, every country to focus on the important work of sustainability. And that has certainly been a focus of our administration since we began our work 2 Januaries ago. And we try to factor sustainability into all of our goals, all of our plans, all of our decisions. And just like in other areas, we certainly have very ambitious goals. Louisville Metro government right now is working towards goals that were set in partnership with Metro Council to achieve 100% clean electricity for city operations by 2030 and 100% clean energy and zero emissions community-wide by 2040. Ambitious goals that we are working to achieve. One of the ways that we're working to achieve that is through our Solarize Louisville program. That program, Solarize Louisville, has already helped more than 220 homes and small businesses go solar to date, and it continues to grow year after year. And this year, we're making new investments in clean and renewable energy. And as part of those investments, I'm thrilled to be here today at Southwick Community Center. Southwick is one of 3 Metro government buildings that is about to go solar. Right here at Southwick Community Center, we're installing solar panels, as well as at Fire Engine 8 in the Klondike neighborhood and the Iroquois branch of the Louisville Free Public Library. These installations at these 3 Louisville Metro government buildings are going to happen this year, led by our Office of Sustainability and their director, Sumedha Rao, who's with us here today. I also want to thank my colleagues from Louisville Metro Council. We could not do this without their support. We are here today at Southwick Community Center in Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins' district. Councilwoman Hawkins, we're going to hear from you momentarily. Thank you so much for hosting us here. Thanks for the support that you have given to make investments here in Southwick with the technology that we talked about. There are some great outdoor additions that are coming around here as well in the adjacent park. So thank you very much for your leadership for the Park Duval neighborhood and others in your district and around the community. And also thanks to Councilwoman Betsy Rui, who is joining us here today. And thank you, Councilwoman Rui, for your support of our sustainability and other initiatives. We're going to continue to grow more and more. I also want to thank our selected solar installation partner, Solar Energy Solutions, Jeffrey Nazarko with SES, for being here as well. Once this installation is complete, it'll produce enough solar energy to meet about half the needs of these 3 buildings. It will save Louisville Metro government about $18,000 every year. Again, we want to continue to grow this program. This is a great example of the collaboration that can happen when we work together. Public and private sector working together to make our city safer, stronger, and healthier. It also shows the great collaboration within Louisville Metro government. We have colleagues of mine in the Office of Sustainability, Facilities and Fleet, Louisville Parks and Recreation, the library, Louisville Fire, all working together with our contractors to make this project happen. And I especially want to give a shout out to one colleague of mine at Louisville Metro government in our Office of Sustainability, and that's our energy manager, Zachary Tyler. Well, actually, he's in Fleet and Facilities, but he's working very closely. Where are you, Zach? Oh, you're all the way over there. Who working closely with Sumedha and the team at the Office of Sustainability for his leadership in leading all of our energy efficiency pursuits across all Metro government. Thanks to Zachary's efforts, Metro energy programs have to date saved $3.2 million in energy costs. And again, we are just going to continue to grow that. So thanks to all of our colleagues at Louisville Metro Government who are doing this hard work every day to achieve this important goal. And thanks to all of our community partners that are here with us today, community partners that are advocating to continue to take bigger and bolder steps in government, in the private sector, in residential areas across our entire community to achieve our sustainability goals. Please continue to advocate because these goals are incredibly important for our city, for our state, for our entire world. So we're going to first hear from a couple of our partners, and then Councilwoman Hawkins is going to share some thoughts with you as well to close us out. So first, I'd like to introduce Steve Ricketts. Steve is chair of the Kentucky Solar Energy Society, and he's going to share a few words about this initiative and some other things we're collaborating on together. Steve?
Thank you. Cheers. Good morning, everybody. Thank you to Mayor Greenberg. Thank you to the Office of Sustainability, and let me add my kind of voice to thanking Zach Tyler as well. These projects are detailed and engineering focused, and without kind of Zach's kind of work behind the scenes, absolutely they would not have happened. As Mayor Greenberg said, the city has had strong sustainability policies and goals for many years, which is clearly a founding block of moving forward. But nothing happens with just policies alone. About 18 months ago, he brought into being the Office of Sustainability, which is staffed by some of the most kind of capable sustainability professionals I see in this region of the U.S. So, policy is a great place to start. We've got the people in place, and now we're starting to see the results of this process with 3 years of Solarize and these buildings here, which will save nearly 3,800 tons of CO2 from getting into the atmosphere over the life of the projects. The reality is our cities are bearing an unduly heavy load to deal with climate change in this state. Lexington has just put $2 million into low-income solar housing. Cincinnati, although not Kentucky, close by, is just running its entire water and sewage system on renewable energy. Frankfurt is about to build its second community solar kind of project to serve people in Franklin County. Bowling Green has built more than 15 schools that run on solar. And now Louisville has created these projects which are not standalone. What wasn't mentioned is the energy savings that Zach is finding for the city pay for the solar project, so we get a double win out of this situation. So strong projects then, and building a conveyor belt for more projects to come along in future. It's tough for us locally. It is a tough fight, to be honest, because we have utilities in this part of the world which are carbon heavy. If I live in New Albany, if I live in kind of Clarksville or Jeffersonville, my utility supplier is Duke Energy. 40-some% of their energy comes from renewable sources. Come to this side of the river with LG&E, part of Pennsylvania Power and Light, it's 1%. So we have a utility that's giving us some challenges. They're coming along, but we have to pedal twice as hard to make the renewable gains we're actually looking for. LG&E sits at 46 out of 47 utilities in the U.S. for renewables use. We have a lot of work to be done. So I think the biggest thing in this to me is it shows the city is in the fight with its citizens. We have businesses going solar, we have homes going solar, we have great solarized campaigns, but the city is saying, we have skin in this game, we are with you, and it encourages everybody else to go solar as well. So if I have one bold ask of the city, is that we should be having these press conferences not every year, but every month as we accelerate more and more solar on city buildings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve. And then next, I'd like to introduce Sam Avery. Sam is with the Renewable Energy Alliance of Louisville, and like Steve, has been another advocate that's continuing to advocate for additional investments to make our city more sustainable. Sam?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're not here today just because we like solar energy. We're here because the weather is trying to tell us that we have to find a better way to make electricity or stop using it. Carbon-based fuels are changing the Earth's atmosphere faster than anybody thought possible. They affect how weather systems develop, and they enhance the intensity of weather systems. Carbon-based fuels are beginning to threaten the ongoing viability of human habitation. Renewable energy, like solar, doesn't use any fuel. It doesn't have emissions. It doesn't affect the weather. We at the Renewable Energy Alliance of Louisville are thankful to Metro government for passing the resolution for 100% renewable energy. We're thankful to Mayor Greenberg for prioritizing Solarize Louisville. And we're thankful to the Office of Sustainability for initiating the transition to renewable energy in Louisville. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sam. Projects like this only come about because of close collaboration between our administration and my colleagues on the Metro Council. And the Metro Councilwoman who represents this area has been very focused on investments in parks and community centers, and we're seeing the benefits of Councilwoman Hawkins' leadership here today, pushing for, when projects like this happen, for them to be in her district, in areas of the community that have been overlooked for far, far, far too long. Whether it's installing solar roofs, whether it's solar panels, whether it's improving the technology and access to the internet, whether it's being the leading voice to reopen the Algonquin pool, not just with any pool, but with the best public pool that our entire city is going to have, Councilwoman Hawkins has led the charge. So it is my honor to introduce our host today, Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to humbly thank the Office of Sustainability. Zach, I want to say thank you. They've worked effortlessly making this come to fruition. I want to say thank you to Mayor Greenberg, my colleagues, everyone working together collectively to make things like this happen in underserved, overlooked areas. It means a lot when things like this happens. The mayor said a lot, so coming behind him is not easy. You know, like he said, I have worked effortlessly to make things happen in areas that have been overlooked, partnering with the administration, working on so many things that now are finally coming to fruition. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the community. And I also cannot leave out Albert Brown. There is no way, if I didn't have the vessel of him working with me, us working together, he sees the community more than I see them. He communicates with me. That means a lot. He tells me what they like, what they don't like, what they want to see. And he has always opened this community center's doors for things like this to happen. You know, that is what we need to see more of. I want to say thank you to Parks, to Nicole George. There is no way that we could do this. And you could see so many things come to fruition if we didn't work together. Working together is what gets things done. So I'd like to say thank you. We're seeing something different. It's going to be saving money. I know the community definitely wants to save taxpayers' dollars to use them for something else. There are so many needs. So that money that's going to be freed up can go towards other things that's needed. because there are so many needs. We're basically playing catch up. But thanks to the mayor, thanks to Metro Council colleagues, just working together to make things like this happen. And we're going to see more of these things. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Hawkins. Thank you, Councilwoman Rui, and thank you everyone else for helping make this reality. These 3 projects are reality. We are just getting started. We will continue to invest in renewable energy. We will continue to invest in a more sustainable, safe, healthy, and stronger community. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions, and if people have questions for Jody or other details about that, we can bring others up as well, but I'm happy to take any questions that the media may have. Eleanor?
Can you talk about the status of the investigation or the recent allegations of this false behavior?
I do not have an update on that. There's been litigation filed on that. And so we will respect that process and let that litigation play out. I don't have any update on that. There has also been an ethics complaint filed, is my understanding. The Ethics Commission is dealing with that. You'll have to ask them for an update on the status there. And I believe Metro Council also has somebody that is looking into that again. Their HR function is under the purview of Metro Council, and so you'll have to direct your question for that to President Winkler or someone else over there.
Yesterday I did a story involving the court system in which a suspect was let out without a bond after wearing a mask and having a gun he wasn't supposed to have. The judge in the case says she was not aware that he wasn't supposed to have a gun when she gave him a no bond essentially. How does that make you feel? And do you have concerns that police are doing their part, but when it gets into the hands of the legal system, things happen?
It's infuriating to see we have a big challenge in our community. We are working hard every day to reduce the amount of gun violence in our community. We are doing everything we can to remove illegal guns from our streets. In this case, like many others, the hardworking men and women of LMPD made an important arrest. They got an illegal gun off the street. They got an individual off the street who had as a pattern of engaging in violent behavior, who was not supposed to be possessing firearms and was. And so to see that arrest then go into the judicial system and that individual to have no consequences so far is infuriating. It makes the work that we're doing more difficult. We need strong partnerships from the judicial system, and we want them to help be part of the solution to reduce the amount of gun violence in our community, to reduce the number of illegal guns that are on our streets.
What is the city prepared to do to make that happen? Are there discussions with judges, with prosecutors, with public defenders? What needs to change?
Well, first and foremost, LMPD and our administration is going to continue to stay focused on what we're working on, and that is to reduce the amount of violent crime on the streets, to reduce the number of illegal guns on the street. We are having lots of opportunities for education about the challenges that the entire community is facing. We've made significant overtures to the judiciary to give them some information on what is happening in our community so that they understand when they are dealing with individual cases what that one case certainly has unique facts, but is part of an overall community challenge. We're working very closely with Commonwealth Attorney Jarena Weathers, with County Attorney Michael Connell. We have an exciting announcement later this week with Commonwealth Attorney Weathers and the Attorney General Russell Coleman. We are collaborating very closely with the prosecutors. We need continued help from our friends in the judicial branch to ensure that our community as a whole is doing everything possible to reduce the amount of gun violence.
Do you think that there's a certain amount of responsibility for voters to know what judges they're voting for?
Yes. No, we haven't as folks I think know, we elect our judges here in Kentucky. And I think it's important that voters be educated on everyone who they're voting for, whether you're voting for mayor, whether you're voting for judge, whether you're voting for school board. We need more people to vote. We need more people to know about the individuals that we're voting for. That's what a healthy democracy is all about. That's what's going to help make our community even stronger than it is today.